I'm often asked why I do this work because I'm not paid by anyone for it. There's no big oil company or fossil fuel provider paying me. In fact, it costs me a lot of money to do this work. So why am I doing it? I think in the end I'm doing it because I've got 10 grandchildren and I don't like the world that they're entering. So before I kick the bucket, I'm 79 now, before I kick the bucket, I want to at least try to get some common sense back in the world. But one of the most angry subjects for me is the way children are educated these days. And I'm only going to talk about climate science here with it, but I've been doing a lot of work recently for the Isle of Man venture that in a couple of, 48 hours I'm away to. And I've got a very intense time in interviews and everything when I'm there, radio appearances and public talks. And so one thing that was planned there was a school debate. So that was golden to me, to be able to open a child's mind. But what was I going to talk about? Well, if it was going to be just me and not a debate, I wasn't going to talk about particularly climate. I was going to talk about what science is. And what science is to be open to criticism, to have no censorship. Then I was going to use examples such as the James Webb Telescope or Einstein's example when he went right against the whole consensus. So I was going to do that, teach them what science is. But if it was going to be a debate, and then it was planned then to be a debate, well, in that case, yeah, fine, I can take up my position with someone on the other side. Unfortunately, what happened is they couldn't find someone on the other side to go against me. So they did try, I'm sure, but they couldn't find anyone to actually debate me, and therefore it got cancelled from high up. I can't say who cancelled it, I don't know. But my visit to the school got cancelled. But that's not the first time. It was cancelled by an unknown person, let's say. But that's not the first time I've been cancelled for school talks. And yet I'm the one who would really emphasise the open-mindedness that's needed in science. Today on climate change, people are being taught rubbish and no counter arguments allowed. That's an abuse of a child's mind. And it really is an abuse. And I feel very strongly about it. So a child's mind is precious because they're absorbing sponges for life. And we've now had people who are now in the 30s have been subject to non-stop one-sided brainwashing. And this has changed society, just how the plan was maybe. So I'm pretty angry that I've lost the opportunity to debate in the Isle of Man. But it's not unusual. I've lost an opportunity before that in the UK, etc. People will often try to paint me as far right or something I'm not. People will try to personally attack me because they're not willing to stand up and debate me. So, I've had a recent professor, because of a television appearance on Turbulence I did, really make personal, savage and untrue attacks about me. The world has gone blinking mad. But above all, the most precious thing is a child's mind. And I'm sorry, the world, we've got it at the moment in the UK and elsewhere, is such that children can only hear one side of the story. That is terrible. That is an abuse of a child's mind. I hope you agree with me. I'm just going to finish this with a standard clip I've used before about Greta, and Greta just going back on everything she said. Now, Greta's great-great-great-grandfather was the one who started the CO2 scare before the 1900s. So, so she's got a whole history in it. It was no accident. But an uneducated young girl, can somehow meet the Pope, meet the presidents, be greeted all around the world, become a millionairess in the process, can do all of this. And at one point, there was a town in the UK, Bristol, where I have some grandchildren, and all the schools were given the day off for the afternoon off to go and see Greta. What sort of political manipulation is that? That's terrible. So I'm going to finish up with Greta showing you that, first of all, she doesn't mean what she says, and secondly, that she has no science behind her views whatsoever. Thank you for watching.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering, people are dying, entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Adults keep saying we owe it to the young people to give them hope. But I don't want your hope. I don't want you to be hopeful. I want you to panic. I want you to feel the fear I feel every day. And then I want you to act.
Mr. Chairman. Ms. Thunberg, thank you for your involvement here today. I commend you for your willingness to testify and get involved with public policy. In the past, when you're talking about climate change, you have said, quote, "I want you to panic. I want you to feel the fear I feel every day." Is there what particular study or scientific report did you read that made you come to this conclusion?
Thank you for your question. First of all, let me just clear that those are metaphors. In speeches, you often use metaphors. Of course, I don't mean literally that I want people to panic. So there was no scientific study that made me come to that conclusion.